an organization that has proper structure to it, proper placement, and that volume is allocated correctly, that the structure that you need to maximize team bonuses are considered as we do this. Now, I will say, in a binary compensation plan, all right, and every compensation plan has like a foundation based in on kind of a set structure to it, whether it's binary or unilevel or a unilevel matrix hybrid. I mean, they all have kind of this foundation to it. With binary, it's very interesting because you've got these two legs that you have to work, and then volume can cascade below you from above, or you may have one leg that like boom shoots out strong on either what was maybe it was a weak side before, and all of a sudden it became strong. And without a crystal ball, sometimes it's hard to know like who's going to do something and who's not. And so definitely don't beat yourself up if you're like, oh, I placed this person here and then they exploded, or I put this person here thinking they were going to run and they didn't run. Guess what? That is the nature of what happens here. As long as you're consistently doing the best you can with that, and you're in this long enough, I have found that a lot of it, starts to come out in the wash. So if you screwed up a placement at some point, don't beat yourself up about it. Without the crystal ball, there was no way to know. And you just keep on doing doing the right things. And with time, like I said, a lot of that starts to come out in the wash, where someone produces that you didn't expect, or someone you expected didn't produce. It will all come to bear. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this then, and we'll let Greg kind of start with what he has learned and over the years, and then you guys are welcome to ask questions or comments or things that my guess is that there might be questions that I don't even know the answers to. I'm going to have to jot down and maybe get back to you on some things. If they're compliance in nature or systematic in nature, I can definitely look into that. The only other thing that I want to add before we start this, I meant to say this earlier, is that I do want you to recognize that building volume at the end of the day is what, at the end of the day, what matters in this business most. Like if you were to say, hey, what is my business going to look at like in 2 years from now or 3 years from now? What do you really want out of it? You're going to want strong and stable volume. So beyond, Success Club recognitions and beyond elite points and beyond, rank recognition and things of that nature, which are all good, which all hopefully are driving volume. I know that sometimes we get caught up in, I'm not seeing the same rank advancement that I saw last year in 2014. And we beat ourselves up a little bit about it. Yet when we're looking at volume, you're like, yeah, my volume is growing. My paycheck is actually growing. Like, guys, that's the bottom line, right? That's the sign of a healthy and stable business. And so this is definitely something that is of utmost importance in, doing what we want our businesses to do and long-term residual income. And so hopefully we can, maybe have an epiphany or two about that as we, discuss, this aspect of our coaching business. So anyway, any questions or comments before we get started? Good. All right, Greg, knock us out.
Okay. So this is going to be a review for Nikki, because you've seen my presentation on this before. And let me share, I have some slides, so let me share those. And all right, can you guys see the presentation? All right. So I start this out pretty basic. So I'll go quickly since I know you guys are all masters, but if I'm doing this for like a team call or whatever, I know that there's new coaches on, and I like to explain from the beginning and then get to the more complicated stuff. So, basically I talk about, the power of Emerald, and, it kind of starts with you. And, once you become Emerald and you get your first team, right, you build that team. So you have to have those two coaches, one on your left leg, one on your right leg. That's the binary tree that Craig was talking about. in your, why do we call them legs? Because really you're part of a body, right? You have a head above you, which, is your coach, and you may have coaches above you that your coach has placed there. So that, your coach has either placed you on the left side of him or on his right side. And if you're on his left side, then what we do is we assume that is going to be your strong leg. And I always assume that, I tell the coach to assume that, your coach is going to be a builder and he's going to be placing coaches below you. So you can assume that is going to be your strong leg. And obviously we know that that's not always the case, but I like to be positive and assume that, that's going to be the case. So in this scenario, the right leg is the weak leg. The strong leg's also called the power leg. And then if it was flipped, if you were placed on the right side of your coach, then your strong leg, your power leg, would be on the right side. The weak leg is also referred to as the inside leg. So just different terminology. So again, Emerald needs 2 coaches, and I always suggest that the first coach be, a customer or one other coach. I tell all my coaches, and I'm very good at getting coaches to Emerald normally within the first 30 days. I tell all my coaches, all you have to do is find one other coach. It could be, anybody, a customer, a mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever, just find one other coach. And then once you find that one other coach, you sign that coach up on your strong leg, and then you sign your spouse up on your weak leg. So I know there's coaches out there, you can watch videos, and get many different opinions. Some people say put your spouse on your strong leg for different reasons. I always recommend putting the spouse on the weak leg, and that's mainly for future, when you start building your spouse as the second business center, your second unofficial business center, and then when you place your business center, that would go under your spouse on your weak leg. So I'm always setting the coaches up for the best future, for building that weak side volume. Okay, so this is you on your own again. If you were to sign up, and this goes to building volume, right, and maximizing that volume and that commission. So if you had a customer under you, and that you get a 25% commission on it. So let's say that person buys P90X, or maybe they buy Shakeology, and let's stick to round numbers. So let's assume that costs $100. So 25% commission means that you would earn a $25 commission, right? That week. But through the power of a family, let's say you had your spouse and you signed up that same customer under your spouse instead of yourself. So now your spouse is a coach, right? So that same customer is going to buy, that $100 product, and your spouse is going to make that $25. But because you're an Emerald coach, you're going to make that additional $14 because of the cycle bonus, which gives you a total of $39. And instead of a 25%, you're now making a 39%. So that's why it's better to build deep as possible. Now, we all know that with cycle bonuses, you have to have $200 on one side and $100 on the other side, a 2-to-1 ratio. That gives you the $14 bonus as an Emerald coach, right? It goes up as we rank advanced. So here's the reverse. $14 bonus. Teammates obviously help build that strong leg, and those teammates come from coaches that are placed above us, right? Okay, advantages to being Emerald. We all know this. You can earn, you get a maximum of $250 a week cycle bonus. You get free customers. You get the potential to get Shakeology customers, right? So basically, we want to teach our coaches how we went Emerald, how they can go Emerald using the family method. Obviously running challenge groups, getting coaches into coach basics, paying it forward. So how to grow your team is growing. Now your volume, your bonuses are getting bigger with SE5 or with SE10, right? You're going to get those free customers or those Shakeology customers, which is more volume. So next you want to go to Ruby, right? So that gives you that 5% matching bonus on your personally sponsored coaches bonus, their cycle bonuses. And then your cycle bonuses increases to $16 from $14, and your maximum jumps up to $1,000, which is important, right? So I always recommend that coaches, build not necessarily for rank, but to support their volume. That's the real reason that we need to build rank. Okay, so this is what the Ruby structure looks like. You add a couple more coaches, then you get to Diamond, right? So at Diamond, you get a your matching bonus goes from 5 to 10%, which can be huge, especially if you get some real, builders underneath of you. You can also qualify for free coaches, right, with the Coach Connection program. Your cycle bonus goes to $18, and your maximum team cycle bonus goes to $2,000. So Emerald is $250, right? Ruby $1,000, Diamond $2,000, 1 star $3,000, 2 star $4,000. So basically, we're going to jump $2,000 for every rank, right? Up to, what is an 11 star? Anybody know? Craig? Oh wait, he's got
12,000.
Yes, right. So it caps out. So it's very important to understand that our compensation plan caps out at 10 star. So if you're an 11 star, 12 star, 13 star, 14 star, you don't make any more money than you would at a 10 star. Okay. So the only reason that you would want to get to a 15 star, obviously is for the rank, the recognition, if that's important to you. Now the 15 star bonus, that's nice, but I would much rather have that coming in every week, building for volume as opposed to just building for rank to get that, that quarterly bonus, which may happen or may not. We see it goes down every time there's a new 15 star, that bonus is going to decrease, right? So
that's not always true, Greg, because as we get more 15 stars, more volume goes into the company. It increases the pool.
Okay, but I
want to make sure that I present the other side of that.
Okay, but what I've seen historically is those bonuses keep going down over the years.
Yeah, well, definitely. When there was, maybe, 6 or 7 15 stars hitting, like they were probably insanely big. But the company volume has also increased significantly. So they're still fancy bonuses.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to have.
But what you're saying is true. I just want to also make sure that it's like, hey, as we get more volume, it increases the pool. So
right,
anyway.
Right. I'm just saying that a bonus is a bonus. It's gravy, right? Sure. Yeah, I would much rather have that salary than to rely on a bonus.
Yeah, what I totally concur with you on is building volume across, if it's multiple CVCs and earning a monthly residual is a better income strategy than relying on a quarterly bonus. So with you on that. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So typically, if you want to maximize your volume, you want to put stronger coaches on your weak leg and weaker coaches on your strong leg. And of course, like Craig said, it's kind of a guessing game, right? We all don't know in the beginning. We think that our strong coaches are going to be builders, and sometimes they turn out to do nothing. And then sometimes we think, we sign up people for just the discount and they take off. So, but, by and large, to get you more cycles, to try to maximize that weak side volume, you want to try to put stronger coaches on the weak leg. But obviously we have to put builders on both legs in order to get that rank to support our volume. So it's a balancing act. Now, here is why I always say put the spouse on the weak side, is because you're going to start building that spouse to a diamond, right? Or to Ruby and then to a diamond. So that's why I say that the spouse is really the second unofficial business center. Now, where do you place your, once you become 2-star, you get to open up your official business center. And where would that go? That would go on the weak leg of your spouse. Okay, and that way it's kind of like double dipping or triple dipping in the money pools, right? The cycling, because you would cycle your second business center, and then your spouse is going to cycle on that same amount of money, and then your primary business center is going to cycle again on that same amount of money. And by placing that second business center on the weak leg of your spouse, that helps your spouse to cycle more, right? Because she's on your, or he's on your strong leg, or they're on your weak side of your primary business center, but because you're placing coach number 4, 5, 6, or 4, 6, 8, they're going to need your second business center to help them cycle off their strong side. That's what I was trying to say. So this is what I call stacking. So by placing, your spouse's business center on your weak side, and then by placing your second business center on your spouse's weak side, and then your next business center on your your third business center on your second business center's weak side. So that's called stacking. Now, obviously, that's how you maximize the cycle bonuses, right? That's how you maximize the volume. But this strategy only works if, you have a strong side on your primary business center to balance all this volume that you're putting on the weak side. Okay, so keep that in mind, and things could change. I know things have changed for me by the time I opened up my third business center. My primary business center, the side that I put my spouse on, had become the strong side, because that's where my spouse and my second business center, and by the time I opened up my third business center, that was the strong side. So it didn't really make sense for me to stack my third business center under my second. So I actually placed that on the other side. So strategies can change, but if you are on a super strong leg, then, definitely keep stacking like this. Okay, so I just give an example. Let's say, you're an 8-star diamond, and I lay this out. Let's say you have 8 diamonds underneath of you. For round numbers, mathematical ease, I made them all, 10K diamonds, okay? So that would give you you as an 8-star, a $3,600 cycle bonus that week, So which is pretty good, right? But let's look at if we had stacked instead of just building for rank. So then we have, 4 business centers, because every time we got 1 to 2-star, we opened up another business center, and we put the diamonds under that business center instead of placing them all under our first business center. So you can see how instead of $3,600, if I add up them all, they now, and this is this is kind of like a perfect world, right? 10K, diamonds and all. But you could have a potential of $10,000 as opposed to that $3,600. Right now, we did get capped because our first business center is at 2-star, so we got capped at 4K. Otherwise, it would have been a lot higher, right? We could have had 7,200 in our primary business center if that was high enough rank to support all the volume and the cycles bonuses that we were getting. But what would you rather have? A 10K or a 3,600K, right? So keep that in mind. So in conclusion, this is the way I recommend building yourself to financial freedom, is get yourself to diamond, then get your spouse to diamond, and then get yourself to 2-star, open up your second business center, get yourself to 5-star, and then once you build, if you can build 5, what I always tell my team is, if you can build 5 5-star diamonds in your downline, you are going to be set for financial freedom. So, I mean, you are going to have, one amazing future. So, that's kind of the end goal. So that's it. Any questions? I'll stop sharing.
I have a question. So my business looks different. My husband is on my strong leg, which I still wonder was the right decision, but I would be far away from 5-star if he wasn't on my strong leg. So he's one of my diamonds. And then I put my second business center on my strong leg, but on his weak leg to be my second diamond over there. So those are my 2 diamonds on my strong leg. I have a super strong leg, outrageously strong leg. So I should be close to getting my third business center, probably in the next month or 2, 3. I think I should just put it on my primary business center's weak leg. But is there a case for me putting it on, again, my strong leg, but my second business center's weak leg, which is also my husband's weak leg?
No, I think you need to build your weak side of your primary business center, because I'm sure you're not cycling out your strong leg.
So what I could, maximize, not even close.
Right. So, in that scenario, I would have even said, if you place your spouse on your strong leg, to put your second business center on your weak leg, to cycle more, right? Yeah. Because
the only reason, again, I didn't was so I could have another diamond over there again, because I have like 3 other coaches on my strong leg, period, because it's so useless to put coaches over there because of how strong it is. So it was kind of like the 2 diamonds I could control to be 5-star. And
you already have 3 diamonds on the other side. So
I have 4 diamonds on the other side now and more to come. But so okay, just was thinking about third business center and strategy for that. And thank you.
That's what I did with my third business center. I put it on the other side, just to help balance.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right decision. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I always try to keep my business center and my primary business center. I've always kept it pretty much a 1-to-1 ratio. So I've been pretty lucky that I've always been able to cycle everything out of my primary business center. My second business center is a bit lopsided, so I gotta.
Cool, great question. Any other thoughts or questions, whether they're specific to you or strategic in nature, things that you've learned or things that would help us in this under this topic?
I have heard coaches argue that you should put the spouse on your strong leg. That way you can throw all the other coaches on your weak leg, and hope that one of them is going to take off and go emerald and you control your spouse. So that way all the coaches and all the volume goes on the weak leg of that new coach, right? But like I said, I always plan, I know that very small percentage will actually go 2-star, but I always plan for the fact that they will, I believe that they will, and that will set them up best for long term. So that's why I recommend that strategy.
I was going to ask how early on you teach this, Greg, because I think it's important to know coming in as a new coach, like how to build this way. Because I didn't know, and so I'm totally lopsided. And then my second part to that is how many of you guys are recognizing that weak leg volume with your coaches now, and is that how you're kind of teaching it through recognition?
Yeah, I can start. I mean, I teach I don't go into the level of detail with the new coaches, but I teach them like right from the coach basics, how to do the coach placement and how to place the spouse on the weak leg. And I just tell them to trust me for now, I don't go into like, about the second business center and but I tell them that you want your spouse there. You want to get your spouse to Emerald, get that one other coach, like I said in the beginning, could be a family member or a customer, on your strong leg. And I teach that like, second week that they're a coach, I don't know about you other guys, you other girls.
I feel like this is the hardest thing for people to grasp the concept of, like team bonus cycles, and especially for people who are visual. For me, it took me a while. I had to watch that Michael Neiman video like over 100 times, I swear, to finally get it, because I just did not get it. But I feel like I mean, probably thanks to your training, Greg, because I saw this presentation so long ago. Like I've been able to really maximize my volume. And also I'm on a dead leg, so I didn't have to worry about a really strong leg from anybody, which I think, a lot of people think having a strong leg is an advantage in this business. Sometimes I think it's not. Like, I think because you can control your legs. Now I'm in a situation where I have built so evenly, but now I have like where my husband is, where my second business center is, and then I have like Nikki Goss under there. Like that leg is totally taken off, and I'm like just stacking my other leg. But I feel like the reason that my income was able to grow so quickly was because of where I placed Ben and how I built that. So I always tell my coaches, like, put your husband on your weak leg, but don't focus on building him until you're ready. Because I feel like sometimes people get too caught up in the volume if they figure it out, and then they start, trying to build that when they haven't gotten to diamond yet, and then it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have a 2-star lifetime coach who has 3 diamonds on his weak leg. I think now it might be a strong leg. I don't know, but he had 1 diamond over on his strong leg, but he was like throwing all coaches on his weak leg because he was only focused on volume. So you got to watch that too. And then his diamond dropped on his strong leg, and he dropped all the way back to Emerald. So now he's like, and getting capped, and he should be getting like $2,000 a week, and he's getting capped at $250. And, like I told Craig the other day, is that volume does not roll over. If you get capped, it gets flushed. So that is the worst possible scenario. So you want to make sure that never happens.
That's a great point, Greg. Thank you that's a really good example of why to keep your eye on these things and have some, control centers, if you will. I mean, rank's not everything until it winds up in a cap situation, and then it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So definitely, as I go through things, and again, it's not like you guys are all, I think, in situations, most of you at least, where, but the best possible scenario, right, would be like capping out at your rank. You're like, oh, this is sweet. I'm capping out at my rank. I got to increase my rank. That'd be the ideal scenario, right? But with time, again, it's just smart to be strategic about where you have these people, so that as your volume builds over the years, right, capping doesn't become an issue for you. I mean, I do have a coach, I won't say her name, but has been here from, early on, has some really big hitters in her, in her downline. And, every month we go through the thing of the money that she's leaving on the table because she hasn't structured very well, where her people can rank. And if one diamond falls, that's like $1,000 a week that she's losing. If another diamond falls, all of a sudden that goes to $2,000 a week that she's losing. And I'm like, person,
Yeah.
like, you're losing like almost $8,000 a month because we're not keeping these people in in where they need to go. And so anyway, that's again, like we'd all love to have that problem, right? Like, oh no, we're capping at, $8,000 a week, $1,000 a week. I got to figure this out.
I think it's really hard for people like myself who are really driven by rank and really driven by recognition. And I know, like, working with Greg, like he would always joke, like, because I was such a rank pusher. I mean, I love pushing for rank, but as I've been in this business 2.5 years, like I see the volume, increasing and how it's been great. But early on, it was really hard for me to get this through my head, like that this was more important than rank. Because I was like, no, rank's more important.
Yeah. Well, and I also understand for you guys, I mean, again, it goes back to that saying, right? We grow what we water. And the easiest thing to recognize, that someone asked a recognition question, Sarah, maybe we should go back to that. But, the easiest thing to recognize is rank, is Success Club. There are these easy measurable pieces that can be defined as you hit or you didn't hit or, and so it really drives that rank push, and that's fine. Let's hope that as we build, rank, or that we're Success Club 10 Legends or whatever, like that's building volume. If it's, it should be doing that. At the same time, we just, have to be strategic about it. Should be strategic about it, especially you guys, where you're at now. So just kind of laying that out and understanding it and having long-term perspective of it, while it, you may not, walk the stage as a new, fill in the blank. Like if it's good for your business and 2 or 3 years from now, you should probably do that.
And about recognition, I mean, I do recognize the leadership ladder, which has the volume built into it. And I do a volume report every month. And I'll list like the top 100 and I'll put them in order and I number them, on a nice graphic. And I forgot to do it for April. And I had people that were I was surprised. I had people that were messaging me like, hey, where is it? I want to see if I moved up the ladder, kind of like the elite board. We all look for, hey, have we moved up a couple positions? Well, my team looks if they moved up the volume position. So I think that's a really good thing.
Well, I think Nikki and I were kind of talking about it back and forth in Messenger with the weak leg shout outs and stuff weekly, and Patrick Relman is one that shared a video on how he does it. And I think it's an easy way to recognize for something other than rank and all those other things that just some people just don't care about. Like if you're, back to personalities, if you're a pearl and you don't care about those kinds of things, weak volume shows a whole different, perspective of recognition. And then it teaches them early on, because at any rank at Emerald, weak leg volume helps. At Diamond, any rank, it's going to help them grow for income, I guess, more so than anything. But I don't know. That's why I think I'm going to start implementing it. And I love Patrick's video on how he explains it. So,
what video is that? Because I don't recognize for volume yet, and I don't know what the best way to do it is. You do it on a monthly basis, Greg?
I do, and I recognize for PV, so not team volume, but I think the weak leg team volume is a great idea too.
I recognize volume weekly in my team page. I actually make it the cover photo, and the top 10 coaches, and it's who has the most PV of the week.
PV.
And they love that because they love seeing their, picture. I do like a top 10 picture. Yeah. The top 10 coaches of the week. So.
Yeah, the thing I like about that is that you are recognizing kind of personal effort in there. I guess my only, I don't think ever recognizing weak leg volume would be, a bad thing. One of the volume measurements that I like is, quite honestly, is ATV, because, and I don't know how easy this is showing my ignorance here. I don't know how easy that is for you guys to even grab as leaders, but one of the things I like about it is that it does, if you're growing your ATV, I'd like to think that you are developing leadership, you're growing retention, you're growing your downline, but it's your personally linked, coaches. It's not, it's volume that's controllable through your, through your influence and through your PS coaches, as opposed to maybe, a placement situation or something like that.
I don't think we can pull that.
Yeah, we can't see ATV.
Only if like they're a diamond and they could send us their elite report, we can see it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if you have, Dara, if you have Kendra Fletcher's Excel report. She makes it really easy. You can just like, take your report from your back office and then just plug it into her spreadsheet, and it gives you all of the PV for everybody in your downline.
Yeah,
Is it easier than Patrick's?
It's one of those extra things I just can never quite seem to get around. I have one more question. I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions. It's more of like a big picture. It's nothing we can change or would want to change, but I feel like Beachbody is one of the better compensation plans compared to other network marketing businesses that I've heard of. However, I do wonder about like, what are the benefits of it being the binary system? Because that does just seem like a pain in the butt to me most of the time, especially like Nikki said, I always feel ungrateful saying this, but I kind of, being on such a strong leg makes this business more frustrating sometimes with like knowing where to put coaches and just, I don't know if I'll ever get to 10 star, and that's okay because there's never going to be a reason for me to put coaches on my strong leg. Because I'm never, So anyways, does anyone, I know that's like just big picture, but like what are the advantages of it being a binary system?
I can speak to that a little bit, Dara, just having played in many playgrounds.
Right. I thought
in terms of comp plans. And I'll be honest, like for binary is new to me. I've been in the industry for 17 years now, and it's only been the last 10 months or whatever I've been at Beachbody that I've really had to play in the binary sandbox. I've always understood it structurally, but now it's like application wise, what does it look like? And quite frankly, there's pros and cons to every type of, and I'll just call it comp plan structure, again, being a foundation, whether it's built on, a unilevel, if it's built on a stair-step breakaway, a matrix, any type of hybrid plan, binary, they all have pros and cons, meaning that, one of the cool things about binary is there's no break off or limit on how many levels you can get paid. Like if you're strong leg, it just keeps going down through infinity. And as long as you match that or what you're matching on your weak leg, then you can earn off of that. Whereas in a traditional, let's call it a unilevel plan, they're going to pay say 42%, 45% if it's a strong plan through 8 levels. Okay. Meaning that once someone is on your 9th level, guess what? You don't get paid on that anymore. It's just, it's gone because they're only paying that 45% through 8 levels. Now you can build very wide, your PS coaches just make you go wide, 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 and then 8 levels deep from there. So there's unlimited ways to build it. But one of the cool parts about, the binary, at least in my opinion, is people can make money quickly and make some significant money quickly when you have this strong leg that, quite frankly, you didn't even build. Yeah. Right? Again, it doesn't mean that you're not having to match it. You're having to do the work, and then you're having to make sure that you rank correctly so you're not getting capped out. I mean, there's some checks and balances in that. But it's always been an attractive plan from that standpoint that it really kind of creates a culture of abundance, a culture of, teamwork, because there's no bottom to it. You can continue to earn. You're not going to get broken off. And I think it kind of creates some of the cool synergy that we see at Beachbody where everyone's so willing to share, abundantly because they're not going to get, cut off from income based on depth.
Yeah, no, that explanation alone helps.
So structure wise, it is a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie. Like I have never and Greg and I spent some time on a bike ride yesterday, and I was explaining to him oh my gosh, this company has such a structure-based income, model, and I'm working on some proposals to maybe put some volume type features into it or things. Because I think we get so uber focused on structure that we forget sometimes what coaching is and who we should sign up as coaches and who we shouldn't. But every comp plan is going to have some little thing where structure screws you or volume screws you or whatever. It's just the nature of comp plans. And so is this the best comp plan in the industry? I could argue it's one of the best. I don't, there's no perfect plan out there. That's for sure. And I've researched all of them. So every comp plan has pros and cons.
Like I was complaining. I just truly wanted to understand what the different advantages, disadvantages.
Yep.
I have no reason to complain about this compensation plan.
Yeah. No, here's the bottom line. Every compensation plan is good if you put volume in it. If you don't put volume in it, it's not a very good plan.
Got it. Hey, Greg, I had a question. And I get this question sometimes, but it seems like because it goes infinite levels, right, that it only works because there's only a very small percentage of coaches who are actually earning money. But if let's say 50% were emerald or above, then wouldn't we go broke and have to cap at so many levels?
Okay, so you will see if you were to read the fine print in the policies and procedures manual that and I forget what the percentage is. I want to say it's like 35% or something. If the team cycle bonuses bump up against 35% of the commissionable volume produced, then it will cap team cycle bonuses, like company wide. Like it would only pay up to that percentage, and that protects from what you're talking about.
Okay.
From what I understand, Beachbody's never had to do that, and because we're so customer oriented and we have such a strong customer base of people that are putting into the pool but aren't taking out of it, then we've never had to hit that, that cap on max payout of team cycle bonuses. But there is a contingency in the compensation plan where they'll only pay out that percentage of the commissionable volume on the product. Otherwise, like you said, it would not be financially feasible for the company. They'd have to either amend the comp plan or they'd be upside down. And it's that every comp plan has that feature. They call it breakage in every plan. That's, if there wasn't, like you said, you'd be upside down, you'd close the doors. So
right.
Just like any business has its margins. Those are part of what companies have to build into, the margins of their plan. But yeah. Good questions. Cool stuff. All right, you guys. Well, it's been fun diving into a few X's and O's today. Bottom line, build volume. If you build volume, the plan works. So
you make more money.
Yeah, exactly. Do it the right way, and that is the cool thing about Beachbody is if you the pureness of coaching. If we do what this is, then volume comes into the plan and advancements, kind of come as a result of that, and everyone wins. So anyway, thanks for your participation today. If you do have some cool recognition ideas, or if Nikki, maybe if you'd post what you're doing to recognize your top PV people, or if you'd put maybe some comments or things that you've seen, or Greg, I don't know if you'd be willing to share this presentation, with the group. Put them in the thread if you would. Anything that could be of benefit to those that weren't able to be on the call today.
Okay.
All righty. I can tell who our two pregnant coaches are. Got Dara over here. She got herself a sandwich. Sarah's we've got three pregnant coaches. Nikki, Nikki's not quite as hungry.
Too after the call.
She's thinking about eating. All right, Ashley, you just take it easy. No more kids for the Brockingtons for the foreseeable future. I beg of you. All right, see you guys. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks, Greg.
Yep. Thanks, Greg.